Hello, and welcome back to my channel. It's so good to be back. I've been gone for a couple of months, as some of you have probably noticed. I had a baby, and I have been enjoying my time at home with my baby girl. So while I've been off on maternity leave, I have had a lot of time to think about what would be most helpful for you. And one of the things that I came up with is that everyone has the best intentions. We want the best for ourselves and we want to work towards our health goals. The problem comes in a couple of areas that prevents us from doing the follow through to actually see our goals through to the end. So that's why I came up with this big goal setting and follow through protocol framework that I'm going to share with you today. So I know that many of us have experienced this for ourselves, where we have this big goal in mind that we want to achieve. We set this goal, we're very excited right at the start, but somewhere along the line, we get hung up. So for this video, I'll be talking mainly about weight loss, but this can apply to getting more exercise in our lives, achieving really big exercise goals like running a marathon or a half marathon or something along those lines. This can apply to sleep. This can apply to yoga, meditation, whatever it is that we want to achieve for our health. This is the same process you can go through to achieve all of those goals. Okay, so step number one in this process is to actually set your goal. And I know that that sounds easy, but you want to be very intentional when you do this process. So you do want to set a big goal. You want to set a goal that will stretch you, whether it's running that half marathon, losing 100 pounds or more. Things that may not seem very feasible to you right now, you really want to set a goal for that. Make sure that you're also focusing primarily on one goal at a time. You don't want to tackle, I want to be healthy all at once and have to work on diet, weight loss, exercise, sleep, stress management all at once. Pick one thing, constrain your focus to one goal that you really want to accomplish, and then set a huge goal. Also, you really want to become clear as to your why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? It's going to be individual to you. You want to make sure that it's a positive reason. For instance, you don't want to lose weight to show all the haters that you could do it, right? That's a very negative connotation associated with it. You want to lose weight for you because blank. And it doesn't matter what that blank is. If it's, I want to feel really sexy at the beach in a bathing suit, and that drives you to achieve it, great. But do you see how that's a positive kind of spin on it, not a negative, not for a negative reason to show other people or to, to punish myself, but to prove to myself, to show me what I'm capable of, to stretch my limits. Really hone in on that why. That way, when it gets hard, you can always come back to that's the reason, that's my want for it. I'll give you a personal example. So when I was at my heaviest at the end of my medical training, my medical residency, I really wanted to lose weight. And I really wanted to change my relationship with food. I was sick of thinking about food all of the time and planning for it and daydreaming about the next meal. And I really wanted to get to the point where, yes, I enjoy food, but it doesn't control my life. Okay, so now you have your big goal in mind. It's big. You have your reason why. You need to state it in a very specific way so that you will know when you achieve it. And for that, I recommend a SMART goal. So S is very specific. So not just I'm going to lose weight, but I am going to lose X number of pounds, or I'm going to weigh X number. M is measurable. So for weight loss, that's easy. If you're specific, then you know exactly how many pounds that you need to lose. But say for exercise, what if your goal is I want to be somebody who exercises regularly? Great. What does that mean specifically and measurably? What is your baseline minimum of days a week you will work out, and what type of workouts? A is actionable. Can you take action on it right now? You want to make it all within your control, not dependent on anybody else. R is realistic. Do you have a realistic goal? And I would say, even with big health goals, they can be realistic. Other people have achieved them. Why in the heck can't you? And a lot of the times that R is involved with that T. So T is the timing. When will you achieve this goal by? So for people who have lots of weight to lose or a big weight loss goal, just make sure that your goal is realistic with the timing that you want. So in 2 years, I will be at my goal weight. That's a beautiful goal if you have 100 pounds or more to lose. Okay, and so the final piece in setting a big goal is visualize you in the future as having achieved it. And that's very important. Also relating back to your why, imagining you being in that future. So for me, it was imagining being fully functional, fully mobile, and just having this mental peace around food where it just wasn't constantly on my mind. That was amazing. Those are the pros of the future, but also imagine the cons in the future, because that's very important for maintaining your goals, is being realistic that it's not like it's going to be all perfect in the future. There still will be cons. So when it comes to weight loss, what does that look like when you go out with friends for drinks or dinner or appetizers? That will be different than what it is currently. And it might be different in a way that you don't love, but is it worth it to achieve that health goal? Imagine you set the goal to be somebody to exercise regularly. What does that look like when you're on a week-long vacation in Mexico with your family? That looks like you still getting up and going and doing your exercises on vacation. So realize that there are, no matter what, in the future, it's still going to be pros and cons. It's not going to be everything's perfect. And then make the decision that that future version is somebody you want to be. Because if you get there and you haven't thought about some of the negative aspects of achieving your goal, it's going to make it very hard to maintain it. All right, so that was step number 1, which was set your goal. And that is one of the places where people will often get tripped up because they're not making a strong enough why. They're not visualizing both the pros and the cons of them achieving that goal, and they're not making a SMART goal. What I would love is for you to comment about what your SMART goal is. And that way I know how to direct my content in the future to be helpful for you in achieving those goals. So after you have your goal set, then you can move on to step number 2, which is creating your plan or your protocol for achieving your goal. This step is also a place where people get tripped up. And the reason is because we have a brain that doesn't like change. So what it does is it tries to confuse. It says if we're in this state of confusion, then we don't have to take action. And I don't want to take action because I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at. And what this will look like is you start to do your research about what is the best diet to lose weight. Well, this person says that, and this person says that, but this book that I'm reading says that. And your brain starts spinning, saying, well, we can't follow all of those, so we might as well follow none, right? And so I want to offer ways to counteract that. First, give yourself a limited time for research. So if you're going to lose weight, do your research, decide what diet you want to follow to start out with, knowing that you can intentionally change it in the future if it is not working for you. And trust your intuition. Use your best guess because you know what's best for you. Additionally, find one guide. If you want to follow a program, find one person, one book, one program to follow and follow it. Again, you can always intentionally choose to switch in the future, but for now, just follow one person. And the reason I say that is that because I frequently have patients who will come see me, they'll report the story that they were following this program for a couple of weeks, but then they saw something about X, Y, or Z, so they decided to incorporate that, but it was too hard to do both, So they ended up just doing one, and a couple weeks later, it's now been months down the road, and they've toggled back and forth between all of this different advice, and nothing's working. And that is just giving your brain more ammunition to say, this doesn't work, so I can't achieve my health goals, so we might as well go back to where we were. And that's actually not the case because you didn't actually follow any of the plans. You started to, and then you changed before you could see the results. Okay, the next recommendation for your protocol that I have is to break down your big goal into smaller steps. If you're setting really big goals, it's easier to track your progress if you break it down into smaller steps. So if you have the goal of losing 100 pounds, break it down into 25-pound increments. And then you can do kind of more mini SMART goals based on that. And that will help your brain focus in instead of indulging in confusion about how in the world are we going to achieve this huge goal. And then finally, for this planning protocol piece, is to schedule the results that you want ahead of time. So what I recommend for weight loss, for example, is to keep a food journal, but plan your food ahead of time. So you write down everything that you are going to eat tomorrow. You write down the exercise that you are going to accomplish. What I mean by scheduling the result you want to accomplish is what will actually happen. What will I actually eat? In the example of exercise, you want to plan, I will go on a 3-mile run on Saturday, not just run on Saturday. I use my Google Calendar all the time, and I really like scheduling these things as far as tasks, because then it's very satisfying for your brain to be able to check off the task once it's completed. Okay, now we've made it to step number 3, which is the hardest, and that is to allow discomfort. As soon as you schedule your plan, so let's back up. Your brain likes the idea of achieving this goal. It tried to confuse you a lot because it didn't actually want to change. The primitive brain, your evolved brain, does want to accomplish stuff, but your primitive brain is like, nope, let's stay in the cave, let's conserve energy, let's avoid pain. Asking you to achieve health goals makes you do all of those things, and your primitive brain hates it. Your primitive brain hates making change. So you have this big goal that your prefrontal cortex really, really loves and it wants to achieve. You have this protocol. And then as soon as it comes to actually following your protocol, your primitive brain is going to throw a fit. And you have to allow that to happen, allow it to have its temper tantrum, because remember, it is like a toddler down there. Allow it to occur. And the more you do that, the better you will be at achieving your goal, at following your plan. So know that the discomfort is coming. Anticipate it. Trust that it is part of the process and it is required for us to be successful. If it wasn't there, if we didn't experience discomfort on the way to achieving our goals, we would have already achieved our goals, right? That is the main reason that we haven't done it, is because it's uncomfortable. And so trust that getting good at feeling uncomfortable is the path to success. Also remember that allowing discomfort will diminish it. The more you allow it, the more you feel it without resisting it, without avoiding it, and without giving into it, the less it will become. Eventually your brain will say, I'm just gonna give up asking for this and demanding this behavior, because my adult brain, my evolved brain, just overrides me and does what it's going to anyway. So I might as well just shut up about it. And that's the peace, that's the freedom that you get. And that's when goals start becoming really achievable. So lean into this discomfort and feel it. So you're probably wondering, how in the world do I allow discomfort? How do I feel discomfort? The first piece is that you want to name what that discomfort is. What is that uncomfortable emotion that your primitive brain is trying to make you feel? Name it so that you can tame it. For achieving health goals, it often shows up in the form of desire. I really want that food. I really want to just lay on the couch and not go for a run. I want is usually what that sentence in your brain will start out with. It's also envy. It's not fair that other people don't have to follow a diet protocol. It's not fair that they get to eat donuts. It's not fair that they get to drink that yummy cocktail. Deprivation. I deserve. I should have this. I had a hard day. I deserve X, Y, and Z, and I'm depriving myself. That's another tricky one that your brain will try to throw out there as you're not, it's self-care to indulge and go off plan, which it's not. That's not true. Confusion, we already talked about. And then boredom. Ugh, I hate this protocol. It's so boring. I'm so sick of eating vegetables and meat over and over and over again. That's another tricky one that people will say often, I got bored with what I was eating. Cool. Let food be boring and let your life be awesome. Find excitement and creativity outside of your protocol so that you can stick to your protocol. So first is to name it. Second is to describe how it feels in your body, not the story of why you feel that way. So let's take envy, for example. Describing it is not saying, I feel envy because she gets to eat X, Y, and Z and it's not on my protocol. That's your story. Envy, for me, it feels like a green feeling in my stomach and up through my throat. So how does it actually feel in your body? Describe it to somebody who has never felt envious before. And then watch it with time. Just watch it. Just observe it with curiosity. That is all you have to do to allow discomfort. And you have to do that over and over and over again until it diminishes. All right, guys, those first 3 steps is really where the magic happens, especially in steps number 2 and 3, creating your plan and feeling discomfort, allowing discomfort to occur when you're following it. Steps 4, 5, and 6 are super easy. Step number 4 is follow the plan no matter how much discomfort you feel. Follow what you wrote down. Follow the protocol. Just do it. Think of it as having a relationship built on integrity with yourself. You said you were going to do something and you're going to follow through with it. That's the kind of relationship and love you want to have with yourself. All right. Step number 5 is to adjust. So before you adjust anything, you want to say, am I getting the results that I want? If you are, just continue what you're doing. If you are not getting towards the results that you want, you have to ask yourself, honestly, are you following your protocol? And there's no, well, I'm trying. And most of the time, it is a yes or no question. Are you following your protocol? If the answer is no, then you just go back and follow your protocol. Allow more discomfort, allow those uncomfortable feelings to come up and follow your protocol anyway. You need to do more work in the discomfort aspect in step number 3. If you are following your protocol and you're not getting the results, that's where we make one adjustment. Hear me out. One adjustment. So in my course, the weight loss series, what we talk about when you hit a plateau, so you're reviewing and you're not getting the results that you want, and you've confirmed that you are following your protocol, you're making one adjustment. Sometimes that looks like changing to your eating schedules. Sometimes that looks like changing to the carbohydrate content. Sometimes that looks like adjusting your exercise schedule, but not all 3 at the same time. Choose one path that you want to change, follow that protocol, and then review. With that one change, did I get the results that I wanted? If I do, keep going. If I didn't, then adjust that again. Okay? Number 6 is the easiest. It's just repeat steps 2 through 5. So go back, adjust your plan, schedule your plan, commit to your plan, allow the discomfort that comes up, follow your plan anyway, and adjust as needed. These truly are the steps to achieving every goal that you want in your life, not just health-related goals, but every goal that you want in your life. So practice these. I have a worksheet that helps with setting big health goals and the follow through. So you can head over to my website at selfhealingdrashley.com/follow through. I'll make sure that the link is in the description below, and grab your worksheet and start going through this. Set yourself big goals and start following through, because I swear the magic happens in that step number 3. If you can get good at feeling uncomfortable and not avoiding discomfort, not resisting it, or not giving in to whatever it is that you want, because whatever is causing you to feel uncomfortable, your life opens up, okay? So download that worksheet, start the process, start working through it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And the reason is because I really do help with steps number 2 and 3. My goals are to help you understand your emotional and mental kind of framework, your internal environment, because that is the biggest barrier to overcoming health challenges and achieving what you want. But I'm also really good at helping with step number 2. I can be your guide because I have so much medical knowledge and training that whatever health thing you are struggling with, I am here to help. So again, comment below about what your goal is so that I can make more content on step number 2, and make sure to follow me so that I can help you with step number 3 as we go. Again, it is so good to be back teaching you and giving you new content that is hopefully helpful and getting you closer to where you want to be as far as your health goes. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you.